Hello, hello, hello. If you know where I'm looking at my empty plates. Oh, yes. It's ready to be filled. Ready to be filled. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I'm ready for the holiday. What about you, London?
Yes, yes, I'm ready. I don't have my plates, but I'm ready here, ready to take notes about what these two chefs are going to teach us today.
Yes.
And so I hope the rest of you also have your, whether Larry is being silly, has his fork and his knife. So we'll see if we can use those today. But I am excited. Season's greetings as we are that this is a time whether you celebrate Christmas or not. This is the time that families come together, eat, fellowship. And I know with COVID right now, it's a difficult thing, but there's been all sorts of Zoom parties and Zoom gatherings and Zoom Thanksgivings, and maybe there'll be a Zoom Christmas or just for the sake of coming together. And so I hope that you are excited. I hope that you all are ready to be engaged. As normal, it is time for you to submit your questions. We have two chefs. We have Chef Chu and Chef Steffi, and they will both be demonstrating one of their a meal or a particular food item that they're going to cook for us today. And if you have any questions for them as they are showing their demonstration, please put it in the comment section. And if we answer you right away, we may not, we may answer you right away. They may be able to do that, or they may have to wait until the discussion time. We will still have a discussion towards the end of today's program. And so please submit your questions. Larry, is there something else you want to say?
Oh yeah, I know for many persons, this has been really a tough year for you, and I believe when God really was taking Zoom up live out of the embryonic stage, and He was really thinking about this moment
Mhm.
because Zoom up today. We're going to show you how you can get around in your house with and eat and enjoy. Food has a way of really building up the spirit, and regardless of what this year was, and perhaps still is, and the uncertainties for 2021. Um, we want to move away just from the normal discussion and really get into something that we know you can enjoy, you can appreciate, and that's the aim today. But we want you to remember February the 6th, because we are planning for this conference. It's a Zoom Hope Life marriage conference, and the theme is sexual intimacy. So you can't afford to miss that. It's coming your way, and we want you to subscribe, follow us, and tune in as we have this conference. There's no reason for you to have anything going on around this time, February 6th. So clear your calendar. Whatever portfolio or whatever you're doing, clear your calendar because the February the 6th, it is Zoom Hope Live Marriage Conference. And I won't say, but you're planning for a certain time. All right. So London, we have done all of that. So let's hear what Chu has to offer for us to chew on. So it's Chef Chu. Um, bring him on, please, London. There we are.
All right, all right. Hello, Chef Chu. So I
Hello,
met
hello. How
Chef.
you doing?
Good. I remember meeting you some years ago, and not too long ago. I was like, "Hey, we want to do this program." You were so willing to be here to show us a little bit about what you do as a chef. And so, if you can just tell us a little bit about what you do, your ministry initiatives, and what you do with food, and how you become a chef, that would be great.
Absolutely, yeah. So my first of all, I would like to say my last name is actually Chew, Chew. So it's not a stage name. That's my real last name. I like to always say I'm born with the mission, born with the
Wow.
purpose, and born to change lives one chew at a time. And so,
All right, all right.
Yeah, but anyway, I actually I've been a chef for over 13, 14 years. Been in the restaurant industry since 2008. Currently have a restaurant in Oakland, California. It's a nonprofit restaurant that's actually sponsored by the Seventh Adventist Church. It's called the Veg Hub in Oakland. It's a nonprofit program we do. We focus on creating healthy, delicious foods for our community. We make stuff like pretty cheese steaks, all vegan. Our better true fried chicken that's pretty amazing. Looks like chicken, tastes like chicken, but it ain't chicken. So we do a lot of cool stuff, education in the community, like I'm doing today with you guys, cooking classes, a lot of community work, advocacy about food deserts. And then lastly, I have a company called Something Better Foods, where we actually manufacture plant-based proteins. So we're actually selling in Whole Foods and looking to expand with some amazing stuff in 2021. Hopefully, different parts of the country. Right now, we're only in California. But like I said, we're actually producing our own plant proteins, similar to like Beyond and Impossible Foods. So I'm in that industry as well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so we do have, I don't know if we'll be able to share the logo, but the something new, there it is. It's in my, there it is. Okay. If you can't see, it's a little
That's
small.
it. Something Better
But
Foods.
something better food, that's his logo. And so that's awesome. I don't know how many restaurants exist that have been funded and supported by the Seventh Day Adventist Church. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're the first or if you're just one of the few, but I think that that's very groundbreaking. And I know, so just to put myself out there, I am not a vegan. Okay,
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's
not
all
a
good.
vegan.
But
But
we
vegan
have balance.
is food.
We have balance in here because I'm a vegan, right?
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
that's why
But I will
put
eat
something inside.
but I will eat some good vegan food. Okay, it just has
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be good. I've had amazing vegan food, and I've had some less than
Oh
subpar
well.
vegan food. So if
I
you
get
can
it.
show us how to make something delicious, I am willing to try it. Okay,
I
so
love it.
we
I love it.
just get right into it. What are you going to be cooking for us today?
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing one of our famous recipes. It's actually a three cheese with a Z, not a S, with a Z. Three
All right.
cheese mac and cheese, and it's 100% plant-based mac and cheese. Really, what I've learned how to do is veganize the southern recipes that I grew up on. I grew up in Southern Maryland. Was a country boy, and I just took a lot of the recipes of my family that we ate. I wasn't always a vegan, and so I'm taking the recipe that I had when I was a kid, and I veganized it. We use it in the restaurant. I've been all over the world, literally with this recipe. So as you're getting something special today.
Okay. He said this is a world-renowned recipe.
World
Okay.
renowned. Come on, that's
Eh,
world
and
renowned.
I see Leonardo Ramin is executive secretary of the conference here in the Bahamas, and he says ready. So maybe he's in his kitchen with his utensils. He's gonna follow you to the T.
Hey, I love it. I went to Bermuda last year, so I know Bermuda, Bahamas, similar, but I shouldn't say similar, but I went to Bermuda and did the recipe of Bermuda, so that's what made it world renowned.
Oh yes. All right. Make us hungry. Make us hungry. All right.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Take
so
us.
I'm ready to start now. Okay, cool. So my wife's about to be the camera person. We're about to go ahead and get started. So I'm really excited. Give me 10 seconds, and my wife's going to be coming to man the camera. Give me 10 seconds if you don't mind, please.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
So as you do that, if you can just chat with us a little bit about, because I know you also have a so how is your restaurant ministry focused, or is it ministry
Yeah,
focused? I know
absolutely,
you have some
absolutely.
ministry based initiatives, and so if you can just tell us a little bit about that as
Yeah.
your wife, man.
Yeah, absolutely. She's here too. So, but both in our business, our manufacturing company, as well as in the restaurant. So, food is ministry, and I say that because you think about, especially in minority communities, the leading causes of death is pretty much diabetes, heart disease, cancers, and so forth, and most of them are lifestyle related. And so, our focus, number one, is creating products that are healthy and affordable. That's delicious. So, our ministry is just simply providing a product or a solution that gives people something better. If that makes sense. Again, hence the name, something better. So, when it comes to our food, we try to make it very affordable. We do a lot of advocacy in food desert communities. So one thing you'll find, especially in a lot of minority communities, we have food deserts. And so a food desert is a place that doesn't have a lot of access to healthy options. And it's pretty much like a bunch of this fast food restaurants, convenience stores. And so, that's a lot of the places that we focus on when it comes to our education and advocacy.
Yeah. So what's the response like?
Man, a lot of it, once they taste it, the response is, it's like, wow, but initially, if you eat, I grew up eating fried chicken every day, like literally 3, 4 times, 5 times a week. And, trying something vegan is obviously different. So, sometimes you get, I don't know if I want to try that. And, but once when people realize it can taste good, the whole conversation changes. And right now we're living in
it's something better.
There you go. We're living in a time where it's becoming, mainstream. So it's actually that conversation like where it used to be 10, 15 years ago. Like, I don't know. It's like, nah, let me, all colors. Black, brown, and indifferent are looking for, plant-based vegan options. Just because people want to live healthier, feel better, etc. So that's the ministry side that we do. So yeah. So we're ready to get started. Yeah, we're ready to get started.
Let's go.
So what's so cool about this recipe is that it's actually built on 3 different parts. One is that we're going to actually make our own. I call it my grandma's gravy. We're going to make a delicious vegan gravy. One thing about a creamy mac and cheese is that you want to add. I use a cream of mushroom gravy to give it that creamy texture. If that makes sense. So we're going to make a simple gravy made from scratch. This recipe can be actually used in a lot of different ways. I'm also going to be making a cashew cheese. And then we're going to mix all the ingredients together. And I'm going to actually do a stovetop 3 cheese mac and cheese. So it's going to be a stovetop 3 cheese mac and cheese. So we're going to start out. And first thing we're going to do is actually make our cashew cheese. Okay, so we're going to start with the cashew cheese. So right here, I got something real simple cashew. Right, everybody know what cashews is. I didn't have time to get the unsalted version, but you probably want to use a regular, this unsalted cashews. And it's really simple. All I'm simply doing is going to be taking 1 cup of cashews. 1 cup of cashews and 1 cup of water. That's going to make what I call a cashew base. So this is the first part of the cashew cheese recipe. So I got 1 cup of cashews right here. All right. 1 cup of cashews. All right. I'm going to put that in my blender. And I'm going to use 1 cup of water. So 1 cup of cashews, 1 cup of water. All right. Boom. 1 cup of water. And we're going to do is simply blend this up. And this is going to make what I like to call my cashew base. Okay, my cashew base. It's 1 cup of water, 1 cup of cashews. Gonna get it started, blend it up.
Okay, I heard you say we can't really hear you that well, but I hear you saying it's blended up for about a minute. Is that correct? Sounds good. Sounds good. We can't, so we can't hear you that well as the blender is on. But for all of our viewers, he put 1 cup of cashew and 1 cup of water, and he's blending that up for about a minute. And you said this is the cashew base, is that correct?
Cashew base. My wife's gonna kind of get a nice picture of it.
Nice.
So you can see a creamy texture. Yeah, creamy texture. So this is powerful because this ingredient or this recipe can be used in salad dressings. You can also use it for gravies. So you can make cashew milk. This use rather than 1 cup of cashews and 1 cup of water. You 1 cup of cashews and 4 cups of water. You can make your own cashew milk from scratch right at home. All right, next thing I have is I already cooked some actual. I call it this is basically a cooked carrot. It's really simple. If you was making baby food, you just cook some carrots and then you puree it. What I'm going to do is add cooked carrots right to this. I'm going to put about 1 cup of cooked carrots into this recipe. 1 cup of cooked carrots right into the recipe, just like that. Right into the blender. All right, 1 cup of cooked carrots right into the blender. Add a little bit more water. Another 2 tablespoons of water right into it. And next thing I'm going to do, I have a simple seasoning blend made from nutritional yeast flakes. So you guys might have heard of an ingredient in a vegan kitchen. This is one of the most important ingredients. It's called nutritional yeast flakes. And
how do you find that?
Any health food store would have it. Nutritional yeast flakes. Any health food store you can get it at. Really common in the vegan world. So simply, it's a chicken style seasoning that I'm using. So one of them that a lot of advocates have used, and you'll find is that it's called what is it called? What's the one we always use? McKay's chicken style seasoning. I'm going to be putting in. In McKay chicken, I'm putting 2 tablespoons of chicken style seasoning in this recipe, okay? About 2 tablespoons worth in that. All right, so now I'm going to blend this back up. And pretty simple. You'll know that white and orange makes what color? Anybody knows?
Yep.
There you go. All right. Let's see what happens. All right. So I'm blending it. Another minute.
One minute. Okay.
20 seconds left.
London, I think you want some already. You gotta wait.
All right, here we
looks
go.
good. I have to admit,
Wow.
I am not
All
vegan, but that I want to kind of put my
So-
finger in there and taste.
So I use this for
And
all
so-
my Philly cheesesteaks for the restaurant. You kind of can see it here. I use make a nacho cheese. It's a phenomenal.
Oh, real stuff.
Yeah, real stuff. This is the real deal right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what I understand so far is that you have get you okay to your vegan socks. But what I see so far is that there's water, a cup of cashews. You had about a cup of cooked carrot, and so if you can tell me, like, how tender should the carrot be?
You want it to work like a puree like baby food. So you want to be like cook it till it's soft, pretty much. And then so you don't want it like to have any tenderness to it. You want it all the way soft so you can pretty much mash it. So that's as simple as that. Yeah. So I'm gonna quickly keep going. So I got my cashew cheese. Put that to the side. You can kind of see over here. You guys can kind of see right here. I got my noodles already ready to go. My noodles. Boom. I got my noodles here. I got my other cheeses that I'm gonna be using in this recipe right here. I got my vegan mozzarella cheese and my vegan. So you can see right here the camera. I got my vegan mozzarella. That's a so delicious cheese, and I have a vegan cheddar cheese as well that I'm going to be using today. Okay. So I got my 3 cheese. I got a mozzarella. I got a cheddar. And I got my own scratch-made vegan cheddar, cheese sauce that I have. So what I'm going to do now? Go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah, I saw something like mushrooms.
Yeah, so I'm making a mushroom gravy. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to make a quick mushroom gravy. It takes literally about 5 minutes. I'm making this mushroom gravy. So what I'm doing right now is cutting up a few mushrooms. It's going to be used for the flavor. Mushrooms are amazing because it has a lot of what they call umami. That like it has natural occurring glutamates. It's kind of scientific, but it pretty much has that savory taste that we love in foods. That gives that savory taste flavor. Mushrooms has natural occurring glutamates, which gives that nice savory taste. I'm gonna be lacing this whole gravy with this mushroom base. So what I'm gonna do? Go right to the stove top. We got a few ingredients. I got my flour right here. You guys see my flour? I got 1/3 cup of flour, and I got 2 cups of water. Okay, 1/3 flour, 2 cups of water. Okay, so it's a 1-to-6 ratio. For every cup of flour, 6 cups of water. So I'm using 1/3 cup of flour and 2 cups of water. 1 part flour, 6 parts water. Okay. I'm going to be using another ingredient called Bragg's liquid aminos. Powerful ingredient in the vegan kitchen. This is going to be used for flavor. Then I got some vegan butter right here from the old Smart Balance right here.
That's right.
All kind of vegan butter. Okay.
If you're in the Bahamas, we do can't.
Okay.
Can't believe it.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it's butter. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get the oil right in here. My pans are already hot. So this is ready to rock. It's going to be pretty fast. All right, my wife's been a great camera girl. I love her to death. I couldn't do it without her. You guys can say hello. Can you see my beautiful wife here? Say hello to my wife.
Hi.
All right. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pretty much put the flour and the water right into the pan here. She's gonna pan it on the pan. All right. So boom, I got my flour in, got my water in. All right. Boom. So we got that already hot. On this other pan, I'm gonna put my mushrooms in this other pan right here. Get that on here right here, and voila. We got my mushrooms. I'm gonna saute that up individually. If I had some garlic, I didn't actually get to get any garlic. I would have put some garlic inside of this, but I didn't have any chance to get any garlic. So what I'm gonna do now is stir this up. All right. You already see how this ratio is a perfect ratio. I'm telling you, if you don't know how to make gravy, you don't want dumplings, this recipe is gonna give you that no dumpling gravy. So again, that 1 part flour, 6 parts water. You never go wrong with this, okay? So what I'm gonna do, you can kind of see that texture. I'm gonna start adding my flavors into this texture, okay? So right here, I'm gonna put a little bit of that chicken style seasoning that I had before. Boom, chicken style seasoning comes in, about a tablespoon. Throw that in there. Got me some Bragg liquid aminos. I'm gonna squirt some of that in there. All right, boom, got that Bragg liquid aminos. That's in there. My next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of this butter. Give it a nice little butter real fast. That's gonna go inside of there. Boom. All right, little butter. About 2 scoops. Butter's in that thing. I'm gonna go ahead in the refrigerator, grab me some milk. All right, boom. Got my milk. Throw a little bit of milk inside that.
Good old Silk.
Little Silk milk. Boom. And I'm looking good now, y'all. I'm looking real good. I'm getting excited now. I'm getting real excited. All right, we back on the gravy. That's all stirring in. My mushrooms are looking real good. All I did with the mushrooms was get them nice and soft, crispy them up. I'm about to throw them inside of here now. You guys see my mushrooms, okay? I'm gonna throw these right here. I just browned them up. Right in there with all that flavor. That's gonna add that umami kick into it. All right. And this is the secret to the gravy. This is the secret right here. If you want that creamy, not that plop mac and cheese, but that creamy on the plate. I mean, it's like a casserole. That thing just melting your mouth. This gravy right here is the key. All right. This is the key right here. All right. I'm telling y'all. So look at that thing right. Look at that right there. Mama say, man, mama be.
Oh yeah, I'm smelling that right through.
Look at that. So that thing looking real good, right? So boom, we got that gravy looking real good. I'll put this to the side for a second. Turn it off. It's done. That's how fast it is. I can use that for any kind of soup base. If I want to use it on top of vegetables. I mean, it can go 1,000 different ways on what that can be used for individually. So you already got 2 recipes. You gave you a cheese sauce, and I gave you a gravy. Now we're about to make the macaroni and cheese. So what I got right here, got my noodles right here. Real simple. I'm gonna actually get a bigger bowl so I can actually mix this up better. Let's get a bigger bowl. Got me a bowl right here. I'm gonna clean my area up real fast. Mama always tells me to keep my kitchen clean, so I gotta make sure I keep it clean. Not my wife. So I'm in her kitchen now. So here we go. I got my noodles, man. I'm gonna throw this in here. So here we go. Boom, I got my noodles in here. All right. So what I like to do, I like to season my noodles. You can just simply use salt if you want. I'm gonna use a bit of my chicken style flavor and kind of add the extra flavor into my noodles. I'm gonna do about this is about 1 pound of noodles that I use, 1 little box of noodles, and I'm gonna throw a little bit of oil just to kind of get it nice. All right, you can pan it on the mac and cheese, baby. All right, so right here, I got my seasoning on my noodles. Okay, got my seasoning on my noodles.
Okay, so what kind of seasoning do you put on your noodles? Because not everyone does that, right? Some people they just cook their noodles and they put the cheese on there. But what do you do?
I like to use my chicken style flavor in my noodles because I want that when I bite my mac and cheese, I don't want the outside by itself tasting good. I want the entire bite to have a delicious flavor. If that makes sense. Okay. So I want that noodle to be seasoned all the way through. That's what I do. Okay, so that's how I do it. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just pretty much gonna mix all my stuff into it. Okay, so I got my 2 cheese, my vegan mozzarella, my vegan cheddar. Throw that in there. Boom, got that all up in there. Okay, and then I got my cheese sauce that I made earlier. I'm gonna throw that in there. Okay, look at that, all in there. All right, so that's in there. Boom, I'm throwing my gravy. My gravy's gonna be thrown in there now. I got my gravy coming, y'all. You can see that gravy. Gravy in there. All right. So now we're gonna pan it on the actual mac and cheese. So we're gonna see this gravy getting thrown in there. All right. Oh man, it's about to be good. All that flavor's in there. All right. So mine will be real proud right now. All right. Cool. I tell you, this is the old recipe from when I grew up. This is the real deal right here, y'all. So I got the 3 cheese mac and cheese in the making. Oh my word! Look at that. Come on, y'all be mad at me. About to be mad at me. Come on now. So look at all that's coming in there now, y'all. All right.
That looks good. All right. So we're gonna thicken it. Are we gonna thicken it up?
Nah, it's already thickened. So you don't really understand how this works yet. See, you ain't getting used to this right now. I'm about to educate you a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm here to learn.
Educate you, Miss London. So what's happening right now is this is pre-cooked. I could do 1 or 2 options. Okay. I could go in the oven, put in a nice little pan, like a little nice little casserole pan. Okay. I'm gonna actually come right here. All right, there you go. Now we got it. I'm gonna actually go stove top today. In my restaurant, I actually do a stove top mac and cheese. Man, this stuff ain't nothing but the truth. It get all that browning, all that stuff on the inside, on both sides. It gets sauteed, so it gets that browning effect on both the top and the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and
Okay.
get ready to put this on the stove top. So I'm gonna pan back on. Now I'm about to get y'all excited. Yeah, y'all about to get excited, man.
Well,
I wish the
for
air
those
smell.
who
Huh?
for those who might be just tuning in, they're wondering who is on. This is actually Chef Chu from Something Better Plant-Based Protein for All. So what you're getting is a real vegan, but it's still something better. All right.
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes, for
Well, good
sure.
to meet everybody. About to give y'all the three cheese, good old top mac and cheese. We're gonna go right here. Go ahead, come, you got to see it perfect. Got a great camera, got a good camera view. So here we go. Got that three cheese, perfect. Kids love this. Never go wrong. Literally in about 5 minutes, this is gonna brown up on both sides. And what you're gonna have is literally a stovetop mac and cheese on both sides. I also have, I'll show you really quickly if I wanted to put this into the actual oven. Got me a little simple casserole dish here. While that's cooking, you'll kind of see what I'm doing over here. So I got one on the stove top, one in the oven, and voila, you guys can see that right in here. This will go right in the oven, 350 for about, you know, 350 for about 30, 35 minutes. I probably go on the last 10 minutes of it. After it's cooked, I do about a 5-minute low broil to get that nice browning on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. You probably get to see it somewhere in the broadcast today. I have to bring it out the oven as well so you guys see how it looks. But let me go ahead and turn this on. Got it on right here. And I'm going to tell you how fast this cooks. So I got my spatula right here. This is going to cook really fast. Okay, so I got it looking real good. You already can see that browning on that. Oh man, look at that. Oh my word. Boy. Already starting to brown. You see that nice little browning effect right there?
It looks good. I can admit, yeah, it look
Oh
it
yeah,
it looks
yeah,
good.
oh
Look
yeah. Hey,
tasty.
hey, I tell you what, I just sold at least a couple $100,000 worth of mac and cheese in my lifetime. So we getting pretty good with it. And
Oh,
like I
you
say,
said you know it's good, huh? I think it's
I know
good,
it's
but
good.
you know it's good.
It does what it do. It does what it do. Now, like I say, I'm gonna put this on medium. Let it really get. I like to let it sit to get that nice browning on the bottom. Get that turn it over, get that browning on the top. And man, we talking about some good eating. I mean, your mama be proud. Your kids would be proud. If you was a brother like me, cooking for the family, your wife would be smiling at your brother. So you better get the recipe, fellas.
All right.
How much time do I got, Miss London? How much time do I have left? My time is over.
Let me see. Yeah, you are winding down, but let me see. So we're trying to see if we can still get Chef Steffi on. So I mean, you go ahead and just keep going. What did you want to do next? Or we can move
No,
into. Go ahead.
Yeah.
yeah, I was just going to talk
Chef,
a little bit more about the food and so forth.
mhm.
Okay.
If you wanted me to.
What's the
Um,
menu? What's the menu? Give us your
Yeah.
menu again.
So there's
yeah.
a bunch of, I don't know if you're saying menu or ingredients, because there's a bunch of people in the chat on YouTube and on Facebook that are wanting to know what the menu is like, as well as what the ingredients are, once again, that you just went over. Many people, you can rewind this video and watch it again. But Chef Chu, if you did not know, Chef Chu has a restaurant in Oakland, California, and it is a part of the Seventh Day Adventist Church Northern California Conference in California. And so, if you can tell us a little bit more again about the restaurant for those who came in late, if you can add something new for those who've been here since the beginning, that would be great. And you're muted. You're
Oh,
muted on the
yeah, you're
phone.
muted, Chu.
I don't know who muted him. Okay, there
Am
we
I there? Yeah.
go.
Okay.
We're
Cool.
we're we're on.
All right. Cool. So yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm a chef, and one of the things that we actually are doing right now, I'm actually in the the plant-based race. So again, you guys are hearing about companies like Beyond Meat, Impossible Foods. We actually have innovated our own plant-based proteins. You go to somethingbetterfoods.com, somethingbetterfoods.com. You'll see our company, and our product is called Better Chew. Better texture, better taste, better chew. I actually was on a TV show with a rapper by the name of T-Pain. T-Pain had a show called T-Pain School of Business. You can actually watch it. It was like a 7-minute segment on. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, or just look it up on YouTube. You can find it as well. But what we do, again, we make plant-based proteins that have a texture similar to meat. I grew up. I'm from Southern Maryland, so this is kind of give you a little history. My father actually was a sharecropper. So I don't know if you guys know much about sharecropping, but my father literally, where I was from, I'm sure about Bahamas might have done sugar, but black folks in where I'm from, they actually did tobacco. So my father grew up, was a farmer. They grew up pretty country, pretty rural. So that means we ate everything from fried chicken, ribs, pork chops, ham, squirrel. I don't know if you ever had a squirrel before.
No, I've never had a squirrel.
Never had a squirrel. Okay, there you go. So I was 10 years
vegan.
Hey, I was 10 years eating possum. I missed the possum by 10 years. So I thank God for not eating that possum. So that's how country my folks were. But the great thing about my family dynamics is that my mother's side of the family was Seventh-day Adventist. So I got exposed to vegetarianism when I was a kid. So I grew up in a household that ate a lot of meat. It wasn't Seventh-day Adventist. My mother grew up Seventh-day Adventist. She sent me to church when I was a kid. So I got exposed to all this delicious vegetarian food. Wasn't vegan at the time. This was like in the early 90s, late 80s. So, some of y'all might have heard of the vegan scallops, the Wham and all these different canned vegan vegetarian products. I started eating that stuff, but I wasn't familiar with it. So some of that stuff, like I said, tasted like dog food. I mean, I wasn't trying it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, I don't know about this. But some of them was like,
don't like dog food. Let's be honest.
I'm telling you, some of that stuff. When I first had that big Frank, I was like, Lord, what is this? I was like, man, I don't know what this stuff is. But eventually, I got used to it, got more familiar with it. And so by the time I turned 18, this is like 2001, I became vegetarian myself. And then I actually, about 4 months later, became a vegan. I always like to give the story how I used to love fried chicken. I mean, I was like married to fried chicken. I mean, it was like, I'm married now, but I was married to that fried chicken. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, shoot. I tell everybody what I did to get off of chicken. I had my last date with my fried chicken. I mean, I had a wonderful first couple of days with my wife. But when it came to that fried chicken, man, I had a date that I took 10 years of making all that fried chicken with my mama and put it into this one recipe. I said, we're gonna go out with a bang. And I made a fried chicken. And I'm telling you, hey, look, hey, Mr. Larry, I made a fried chicken, man. That thing was so good. I mean, I fried it, crispy on the outside, had my hot sauce, my barbecue sauce on the side, and man, I cooked this thing so good. I ate that. I had about 5-6 pieces. It was the whole wing. Wasn't this a drumstick? The whole side, a whole wing, drum and the leg part. Ate all that fried chicken up, and it was amazing.
You went out with a bang.
I went out with a bang. So had my last date with the fried chicken. After I had the date, that was my last time eating the chicken. And I mean, my journey began at that point. Literally,
let the chicken live. Let all chicken live. Guests are asking, right? If you could go over again quickly your menu, as in not the menu, the recipes, the ingredients.
The recipe. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we're gonna go on commercial, and then we'll hear from Chef Steffi.
Awesome. Yeah, quickly. So the ingredients that we had was the ingredients that we used was for the cashew carrot cheese. It was simply cashews, water, and carrots. Really simple. Just three ingredients. Now what I do, London, I will also give you guys a recipe as well that you can share with all the people in your group as well.
That would
that's
be great.
Something I can do as well. Cashew, carrots, and water. Then I made a simple gravy from scratch, which is simply flour and water as the two base, 1-to-6 ratio. I added it up with a little bit of butter. Added my seasoning, my chicken style seasoning with the brass pickle aminos. That made the gravy base. Add a little bit of milk, a little bit more fat, a little bit more healthy fat to it. That made the gravy, and then lastly, I put together the full recipe. I had some simple noodles. I had 2 different cheeses. This time I used the So Delicious cheddar and mozzarella, and had the cheese, the gravy all mixed together. And literally, I put it on the stove top, and voila, you got a 3 cheese mac and cheese. Or you can put it in the oven 30 minutes, and literally within 30 minutes, you got mac and cheese ready to go. Put it on broil for 5 minutes, and voila, you got a delicious mac and cheese made from scratch for the holidays.
All right. So you
Sounds
have.
good.
Do we have a plate to see? Do we have a plate to
Yeah, yeah.
see?
Hold on 1 second. Let me get a plate real quick. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh mercy. I see some person saying that you should FedEx their food. I don't know. These.
Oh yeah, let me show you all.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm
You all
ready,
are
folks.
on here being so silly. Let me
I'm
see.
ready.
Here it was Colin Major. He said, "Send me a plate by FedEx." And then Lyndon Williams. Um, he said, "I'm trying to find it." He's saying, if you're gonna send Colin one, send me one too. Here it is. Here it is. When you send Colin a plate via FedEx, make sure you send him the same thing. And so, just once again, this is vegan 3 cheese macaroni and cheese. I am not a vegan. Larry is a vegan, but
Yeah.
I will never
I'm
turn
excited.
down
Super,
some
super
food
excited.
but I will never turn down some food that tastes good. And this tastes, it looks like it tastes good, so I am willing to try it. He put browning on there.
Oh,
He made it crispy. This is stovetop macaroni and cheese. So for some of you, you like baked mac and cheese. Chef Chu just showed you how to make it crispy
all right.
to
Chef,
give
you
it
don't
that
do it. Don't don't do that. You cook already. Don't eat, please. You're killing us.
bake. We want some of that. We want some of that
Oh yeah.
for
There it
sure.
is.
And
You
so,
got it right there.
Mm.
All the mac and cheese ready to go, and whole plate of it. And like I said, it's crispy on the outside, a nice crispy crisp like browning, and it's real creamy. I mean, you can't get no better than that. So it's really good, really good.
Wow, wow. So next time I'm in California, I'm stopping by. Wow.
Hey, I love it. 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 But hey, I appreciate you guys inviting me to do a little cooking with you guys.
Yeah, man.
Nothing like a Sabbath potluck with some good food, right?
Oh
right,
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah. Now we're
And
talking. And then also, this is a nice thing to incorporate, of course, in the kitchen. Churches and ministries are doing a lot in terms of helping those who don't have, the poor, and so feeding. So, if you're feeding, why not just feed healthy? So we're looking forward to have a chit chat with you afterwards.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
for
Looking
Yeah.
forward
sure,
to it
for
as
sure,
well.
for sure. I'm down for giving people options.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
that's
I love it. I love
I'm
it.
Yeah.
down for
Yeah.
giving people
Yeah.
options, especially
So have something
community
better
people.
in the option.
Yes,
There
yes.
you go.
And I think for those of you who are watching right now, I'm gonna put this out there. I am for eating healthy. I can do better in my health journey, but I believe I do for the most part eat healthy.
Yeah.
And things like that. But for those who are looking to be a blessing to your community in ways that Chef Chu has been a blessing to his community, he
Yeah.
sees that in Black and Brown communities, by and large, there's a deficit of health, and so he strongly promotes eating healthy, eating something better, and that's vegan food. For those of you that are seeking to also make your community a healthier place, I support giving people options, right? Not forcing anybody to be vegan. The saying goes, "A person forced against their will is
Yeah.
of the same opinion still." And so we definitely want to expose people to healthy options. If you want to learn more about Chef Chu, you can see Something Better Foods, and he is about giving. He has a production company. Maybe I'm not saying it right, but
Yeah.
will has different foods. Have vegan chicken and vegan cheese and just different options.
Yeah.
And it's not expensive, because I know some of you out there say, "I can't be vegan. It's too expensive." expensive.
Yeah.
Especially raw vegan is too expensive. And so Chef Chu, you can see his number and his information there on the screen if you
Check
want to
him
get
out.
in contact with him to figure out how you can try and incorporate some vegan dishes into your diet. Then please check him out. Check him out without breaking your bank. He's about trying to
Yeah.
make you healthy, giving you healthy options without breaking the bank. And so,
Great.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a part of this health
Yeah.
message,
But
Larry.
London, you've been talking about the importance of where you at?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. The importance of giving choice, giving the people choice, and that's what
Yeah.
Zoom Up is doing today. We're giving choice, so um, we cater for sweet tooth.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
who do we have next, London?
Well, so really quick, just letting everybody know who's watching, we're not done.
Yeah.
We will have some more dialogue with Chef Chu
Yeah.
and our other chef that we'll be introducing here in a moment is Chef Steffi. I feel like I get a little tongue tied, but it's Chef Steffi. And so there we are. We have her there. But before we do that, I wanted to give just a little bit of information about a demon program. So it may not be for everybody, but just as an FYI, Andrews University has a DMin program that will be coming in 2022. And the DMin program is called Equipping Women for Effective Leadership. This is the emphasis or the concentration. And if some of you may not know, what is the what is a DMin? A DMin is a doctorate of ministry. That's something that actually Pastor Larry is working on right now. And you can get different emphases like youth ministry, but this particular emphasis is a new emphasis that we believe may not exist anywhere else other than Andrews University. And so it is for women to learn how to be effective ministers, effective leaders, and leadership as you get a doctorate of ministry. Just to let you all know, again, it will be coming in 2022. And the lighting is not my friend today. The sun is trying to outshine me, y'all. I mean, the sun does outshine us all. But okay, so there we are. And I don't
Yeah.
have any more to
Yeah.
say about
No,
that. Just letting you
yeah.
all know about
Mhm.
the program. Larry?
Yeah, yeah, very good. And I would like for you to check it out. We're gonna share the Andrews link, and you got to you check it out. A superb university. But just before we hear from Sheffy, just take a nice deep breath as we just get ready to eat something
Mhm.
sweet.
All right, all right. We're ready. And so we have Chef Steffi. Hi, Chef Steffi. I think is that your
Hi from
chef hat? Come on,
London.
let's see it. Let's see the hat. Let's see the hat. You have to give us
Hey,
the
hey.
angles. Okay, okay. But yes, if you can just tell us a little bit about how you became a chef, why is it a passion of yours? And how you just kind of incorporate being a chef with the way that you minister.
Okay, well, first of all, I am a trained chef. All of my life, I would say that cooking is something that I've always wanted to do. It's, I don't know, it's just from a child, it's something that I just always wanted to do. It's something that I just always had a strong passion and a desire for. And as I got older, that passion just grew. And as I
Mhm.
left high school, I decided that that is the field that I wanted to be in. I had challenges starting my college career. And even despite the fact that I did have challenges for a while, I was saying, is this something that I really wanted to do? But then at the same time, I said, well, you know something, I don't think I could see myself doing anything else
Mhm.
except for cooking. And I still went ahead and I did my culinary arts, and here I am today. a trained and qualified chef. I am a recent graduate of the University of the Bahamas. So, one day soon, like Chef Shu, I will be able to have my own empire, because all large things start small in the beginning. So I'm glad to know that, there are persons like me who, recent graduates, we can be able to look up to persons like him, you know, from the perspective that, he is someone who is a chef, he has a business, so we don't have to limit ourselves to just working for somebody else. We can go ahead and use the education that, that we train so hard for to be able to um, share that good food with other persons.
Yes, yes, yes. And so we have your logo up
Yes.
here.
Hmm.
If you can tell us a little bit about that. It's Alex's
Alex's
pastry.
Patisserie.
Oh, patisseries. Okay,
Yeah.
what is that? What is that?
Okay, so Alex's Patisserie is actually named after myself. My middle name is Alexandra. So when I was looking for a business name, I was saying, okay, I want something that's unique. And it was kind of hard because some of the names persons already had. So I say, you know what, I'm just gonna use my own name. And
Mhm.
then patisserie was something that we learned about in school from culinary friends. So I say, okay, patisserie is bakery. Alex is my name, so I'm gonna use Alex's Patisserie. And
Okay.
that is what I did. That's how I came up with the name. So basically, the whole business, Alex's Patisserie, is based around creating desserts for persons, birthday cakes, cupcakes, cookies, all of the sweets. And I know Chef Shu talked about, the healthy eating and all of that, but I also heard him talk about a lot of butter and milk, so all of those things work together to make, an absolute great dessert. And that is what I am here for, helping people to, fulfill all of their dessert desires. That is what I am
Your
here
sweet
for.
tooth, your sweet tooth. And so we
Yes.
have the first one, we had the vegan food, the vegan mac and cheese. It looked delicious. I'm willing to try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to put that recipe together, even though I'm not a vegan. And now we have something, because we talked about giving people options, right? And so now, Chef Steph, you're going to show us how to make a delicious dessert to satisfy our sweet tooth. It will not be vegan, and that's okay. That's more than okay. Everything in moderation, right?
Yes,
Temperance is the
yes.
key. And so, yeah, if you can just get right into it, show us what it is. What are you going to be making today?
Okay, so before I start, what I'm going to be making today is a simple butter cookie. And so, you know that a lot of persons are dealing with this economic situation as a result of the coronavirus. A lot of people are living on a budget. And
Mm-hmm.
even persons who have jobs, they're still living on a budget,
Right.
because this virus has affected persons from all over the world. And during the holiday times, a lot of persons, they want to go all out. They have those fancy dinners. And what is an entree without a dessert? You know? Okay, so yes,
Yes,
Pastor Reed
yes.
is
We
with
have,
me. What is an entree without a dessert?
That's
yes,
right.
And
yes.
so, because of the fact that you eat your food and people are sitting in the house like, okay, so where's the dessert? So, because of the fact that we're living on budgets,
Yeah.
we can still be able to give our family members and our guests, those delicious desserts that they need. But at the same time, you don't have to break the bank, or break your pocketbook trying to fulfill the desires, of this dessert that your family members so, need so much. So what I'm going to show persons today in the audience is how they can make simple butter cookies, and they don't need a lot of money to do this. You can use like about $10 to get the ingredients out of the food store, and you could make these cookies and they taste really good. Trust me.
Did you
So
say did you say $10?
yes, $10.
Wow, wow,
ten
wow.
dollars, and you can even substitute, because these butter cookies, the base of it is butter, so you can use vegan butter, you
Mhm.
know, and you can use all-purpose, like I guess a gluten-free, but that would have to be like a 1-to-1 ratio flour, because we know gluten-free flour is a bit different from the regular all-purpose flour. So you can substitute things within this recipe. If you're vegan, you can substitute, you can make substitutions, and you can get the same product, and you can still have your dessert too. Have your cake and eat it too. You don't
All
have
right.
to not have
That's
your cake,
right.
so you can have your cake and eat it too.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's do it. Let's get into it. Show us how to make these butter cookies.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I am going to.
I can't hear you. The audio has changed.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
I
Yeah.
don't know what just happened, but you sounded very clear just a moment ago. But as soon as you moved, it sounds faint.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's better. I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me now. That's good. Okay, so I have an assistant who is going to be directing behind the scenes, and
All right.
she's going to be showing everything that I'm about to do. Okay, so just
Sounds
give me
good.
a few minutes. All right. Okay. Everybody, how to make simple butter cookies. Okay, so one of the first ingredients that we're gonna have is 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour. So you're gonna
Okay.
pour that in your bowl, and this would be pre-sifted already. Okay,
Yeah.
you're also gonna put in 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. So the powdered sugar is good for the purpose of helping the cookies not to spread that much. You don't want your butter cookies to be like a butter pie. You want them to be compact, and you want them to be tight so that when you pipe them on your cookie sheet, that they stay all together.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
So it's
then,
gonna stop it from looking like a pancake. The
right,
the
right,
the flour,
exactly.
the powdered sugar stops it from spreading out like a pancake, but makes it still keeps the thick consistency for the
Right.
cookie.
So it's almost gonna be like when you get those cookies of the food store and they nice and you got a Chips Ahoy and you can just break that. This is
Yeah.
how these cookies are gonna be.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So you're also gonna put in 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, I'm gonna put that right in there. Then I'm gonna add in some butter.
There we go.
Good space for these cookies.
And by the way, my children, they
How
they
much
they
butter?
love cookies.
Yes.
Okay, so how much butter? That was a stick of butter, right?
Yeah, so that a stick of butter is usually 4 ounces of butter. So we are going to need 3 1/4 cup, which is actually 6 ounces. So you're going to use one stick, and then you're gonna take off 2 ounces of
Hmm.
the other stick. So usually when you buy a stick of butter, they usually have like the measurement on it. So you're going to
Right.
take off about 2 tablespoons and put it in your bowl along with the other ingredients.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm putting in my other tablespoons. Now I'm going to mix everything together just a little bit, but we usually use our hands, to get everything to form into a dough. So I'm just going to use the mixer just to make it.
All right. So if you just tuned in, you're trying to figure out what is going on. This is Zoom Hope Live, and we have the Holiday Delicious Delight. And so we have Chef Steph here, and she is teaching us how to make a butter cookie. Moments ago, we had Chef Chu, and he taught how to make a vegan 3-cheese macaroni and cheese. And the two of them will be having a discussion here shortly. And so tune in, stay tuned. What you see Chef Steph doing right now is she has there's flour in there. as it says, one half cup of flour, powdered
Mhm.
sugar, vanilla extract, 4 ounces of butter, and she's mixing it together. It seems like she broke it up with the mixer, and now she's mixing it together with her hands. Can you tell us some more of what
Right.
you're doing?
So when I mix this together with my hands, it's almost like when you're making a pie crust, you're gonna form a soft dough. And then you're gonna put this in a piping bag fitted with a large star tip. And this is gonna be able to pipe out into all of those beautiful shapes, that you see in
And the
those
cookies.
gourmet bakeries.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So
And
I've never used that bag. Go ahead, Larry.
no, go ahead.
No, I
Yes.
was saying I've never used the bag, and so I'm interested to see you put in the cookie. So you're gonna put the cookie dough into the pipe bag. Is that
Right,
correct?
right.
Okay,
That
I've
is
I've
correct.
never.
So the cookie dough is going to go into the bag and we are going to pipe out this batter. And the good thing about this now, if you look closely, it's starting to form into the dough
Yes,
that I
yes.
told you about earlier, okay? So you put this in the bowl and it starts to form a dough. And
Oh,
usually when after the dough is formed, you would let this sit in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes to firm up. And then you would pipe it, in your piping bag onto the cookie sheet. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to put this directly into the piping bag. And then I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to pipe the cookies onto the cookie sheet.
okay, so I just want to repeat something that I heard you say. So normally, you all, as she just said, she mixes up the dough and then she lets it sit in the refrigerator for an hour so it can just be a little bit more firm. Is that correct? Did
Set.
you say
You
one
can
hour?
set. Yeah.
It's about 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes. Just let
Yeah,
it. So it's in the
because
refrigerator or
10
the
minutes.
freezer?
in the refrigerator.
Okay. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's not that long at all. So let it sit in the refrigerator for 10 minutes, but for the sake of this
right,
video, you're not going to do that.
right.
But just so that we can get done a little bit quicker. But yeah, I mean, just take note of that tip. You're not going to see her demonstrate the putting it in the refrigerator for 10 minutes. But that is something that you would want to do if you want to copy this recipe.
Okay, so here I have my piping bag, and this is actually a star tip. I don't know if you can see it clearly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is a large star tip. There are ones that come smaller than this, but this is the tip that you're going to be using to pipe
Okay.
your cookies with. And
Okay.
you can also get a disposable piping bags, or you can get the real ones, if you want to use it in your home. And those ones are actually washable, but these ones, you can just use it once, throw it away when you're done. So it's good for easy cleanup.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, so
So
our cookie dough is in our piping bag. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead with my cookie sheet, and you're going to need a lined, ungreased cookie sheet for this, okay?
okay.
So
Or
you don't need to
parchment
worry about
paper, right?
spraying any. Go ahead.
Are you saying the cookie sheet along with parchment paper, right?
Right,
Is that what
right.
I'm seeing?
Mm-hmm. So you're going to
Yeah.
use a lined cookie sheet. So you don't need to worry about spraying any Pam or any of those type of sprays on the cookie sheet. Just line your cookie sheet, and then you can go ahead and pipe your cookie dough on it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pipe some rosettes for us today, okay? So the
Okay.
first thing you want to do when you're piping rosettes, you want to hold your piping bag at a 90-degree angle, and then you're going to work counterclockwise, okay?
All
So
right.
here I
Show us how
go.
it's
I
done.
hope that everybody is able to see me. So I'm going to
Yes.
turn it like this, and then we're going to start. Okay, so we have a nice rosette.
Okay. Okay.
And then we get another one here. All right, so that's two.
Ooh. You're
And
teaching
if
us
you
how to be
find that you're doing
fancy.
the rosettes and then it's like, man, I ain't getting this, So you can
Yeah.
just do something simple. You don't have to go all out with the rosettes. So you can just do something simple like that, you know? just like a L, just like Pastor Larry's name begin with L, so he can
That's
let us
right. An
give
LG
the L
cookie.
cookies. Okay, so we're just gonna go with that. All right. So you're just gonna continue to pipe your rosettes or whatever shape it is that really and truly, whatever shape it is that you want to pipe, you
Mhm.
can go ahead and do that. And these cookies really do not take long to bake at all. It's only 10 minutes in the oven. And you
Okay,
know,
so I have a
mhm,
question. What
okay.
so you preheat your oven, correct?
Yes, you do preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
And after you preheat your oven, you would be baking these cookies off for 10 minutes, approximately 10 minutes, no longer than that, or
Wow.
else they will actually be burnt cookies. Okay?
10
We don't
minutes,
want
a
that.
10 minute, a $10 budget and a 10
Yes.
minute.
So 10 for 10.
That's
Right, right,
right.
right.
10
Yeah.
for
Sounds
10.
good. Sounds good.
Okay.
So can you show us the final product?
Oh,
What
sure.
how
Yes, I
did you find
definitely will
out?
show you the final products. Okay, so after these cookies have gone in the oven and they came out, and you know that they're done because the edges will be lightly browned, and so the
Mhm.
final product will look something like this. So
And
with
you
Wow.
the
dipped it in
cookie,
chocolate.
yes, and you can dip it in chocolate, and then for the smaller ones, they would look like this. So they look like little Madeleines. Okay.
Uh,
Wow.
All right, so you can get these, and then if you don't want them this color, you can actually just add some cocoa powder in your all-purpose flour when you're creating your dough. You
Yeah.
would actually replace 2 ounces of your flour with cocoa powder, and then they would actually be cocoa or chocolate butter cookies. So for those persons who love chocolate, they can actually have chocolate butter cookies.
Wow.
Awesome.
You can
Awesome.
actually put food coloring in these cookies and do different designs, and you have like a nice little Christmas tree thing going on there. And then you could do like a star, so then it's like the Christmas colors, red and green.
And so
This
the
is what it
star, do you just put it directly onto the pan and lift up, and that's how you make the star?
right. So you're just
Okay.
putting it on, applying a little bit of pressure, and then it comes right out.
Okay, okay. And so we have Colin Major has put your Facebook link on the screen. And so if any of you are want to see some more of what Chef Steph makes as a chef, she is a trained professional chef. Please go onto Alex's I don't want to say it
Patisserie.
wrong, patisserie. Alex's patisserie. Also, we have Pastor Anastasia. She said, "Are there any samples? Can you
Let's
send
see the
us?"
plate. Let's see the plate. Let's see the plate.
Yes, send us some samples. We want that to be FedEx to us as well, so that we
Oh,
can take.
wow. Wow. Nicely garnished.
So
Wow. No,
yes,
Oh
look,
yes, those look so
look at that.
beautiful.
Wow.
Yes, you did good. You did good. I
Wow.
mean, teach
No,
us,
no,
teach
I live in the
me.
Bahamas, right? So I guess after Zoom up, I need to find a way to get some of these, right?
Right, right, right. Yes, yes. Looks delicious. Okay, so we
Wow.
can now move into our discussion time. We're gonna play. We're gonna take the chefs off for a moment. If you all can log in on your laptops so that we can have a quick conversation, that would be great for our viewers. Please stay tuned. We're going to just converse a little bit with our two chefs as as you saw, they were both on their phones just so that you can follow the movement that was going on from place to place in their kitchen area and their dining room. And so we are going to have a conversation with them. Chef Steph, are you going to be able to move location to be somewhere stable so that we can talk?
Yeah, and you could stay on your phone because our laptop is
Or
not
turn it
working.
turn it
Just turn
sideways.
it
If you
side.
can turn the phone horizontal instead of vertical, that will be helpful. Okay. And then we're just waiting. All right. And then Chef Chu is on with us. And we're just gonna move straight into our first question. All right. So we're gonna put chef's Steffi back on. Can you move your phone yes, vertically? I mean horizontally? Yes.
There we go.
All right. All right. Looks good. Looks good. So our first question, very simple question. Not even our very simple question. Can you please tell us about one of your favorite food memories? One of your favorite food memories, just kind of whether it was as you were growing up, or if it has something to do with after you got into cooking yourself as a professional. Just tell us one of your favorite food memories. For the sake, this is our virtual food and fellowship experience, right?
Yeah.
We can't gather because of COVID the way that we want to, and so we're having our own holiday fellowship and food experience. And so, Chef Chu, if you can please go first and just tell us of one of your favorite food memories, that would be great.
Well, first of all, it's not vegan, so this is not a vegan memory. So when I was a kid, so Father's Day it was like around, I think it's like June. But anyway, it falls in different days if I'm not mistaken. It was like middle June, like June 17th, June 18th. My father's birthday will be around that same time frame. So every year, like when I was like probably like the time of like 8 years old till about 12 years old, my family would have like this amazing barbecue. I mean, so like literally everybody from our town, my hometown, was a little country town where I grew up at. All my cousins would come from like up, from DC. So we was a country folks, so they was the city folks. So they'd come down to the country for that day. We got the basketball going on, the horseshoes, volleyball nets. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Everybody's all, I was a kid, and all like the people that were a little older, the teenagers, they got the ladies out there, they're having a good time. Everybody's having a great time, music, DJ. But I tell you, when it came to the food, everybody brought their best recipes. I mean,
okay.
So my father would he had a barbecue pit. So he actually he went to we had Amish people that lived in our community. And so they built like these like scratch made barbecue like pits. And so he had a scratch made barbecue pit. He had all his specialized meats that he was going to do for that. He made his specialized desserts. My aunts had their specialized, recipes. Whether my mother, she made potato salad. So like her thing was potato salad. So on that day, we got the potato salad, we got the baked beans, we got the fried fish, we got the rack of ribs, we got the fried chicken, we got the pies, the desserts. But I tell you, the food was amazing. But I think the fellowship in connection with the food, because we probably ate, I'm a kid at that time, so I'm like 8, 9 years old. I probably ate, probably about 20 pounds of food that day. I mean, because we playing basketball, we eating some food. We're going to play some more basketball, we eating some more food. And then in the evening time, we're going to eat some more food. And then what happens, all my cousins would come down for like the whole, like for that event, but they would spend the night for like the whole week. So like all the food we had for that whole event, we would then have that for the next, 5 days, the leftovers, if you know what I'm talking about. So like every Christmas, you got the leftovers. So we ate off the leftovers for a good week. And so yeah, those memories, man. My mother had a famous potato salad. My aunts that had their special recipes that they would make, macaroni salads. Again, all the different types of fried chicken. So it was a good experience. Then it was just that gave me a love for cooking because they put a lot of pride into what they were making, and it was like the showcase of the family and what they made. So again, I like to say the creativity that they brought to that kind of event, what kind of got me really excited about food, what I'm doing today.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, I have similar memories. I grew up, I'm African American as well. My family grew up in the South. I'm from California, but
okay.
I go back far enough. My family's from the South, and so just having that picnic, people grilling. You make the bomb macaroni and cheese, so that's your job, right?
There you go.
You
exactly.
make the bomb potato salad, so that's your job. And so we come together. You have the kids running around, wetting each other with water balloons or cups of water, or however you do it. And I hear you saying that it was just a mixture, just once again, for our theme of delicious delight, but also food and fellowship.
Yes.
The food was important. The food is what enticed people to show up, right? Because so-and-so is going to make their pie or their pound cake, whatever it is. But the enjoyment, the height of the enjoyment was just being together, right?
Yep.
Being together. And we definitely want to highlight that reality as you know, people are doing church virtually, right?
Yeah.
And still wanting to be together. There's a way that it can still take place. So I just want to just really quick invite people to maybe take some time to cook the same thing. Maybe some of you can come together and say, you're going to cook that, you're going to cook this, or maybe we're all going to make the same dishes and we're going to gather together on Zoom or on the internet and eat, and that will be our food and fellowship time to try to reproduce this type of experience that Chef Chu is talking about, that is food and fellowship. We lost Steffi, but hopefully she comes back on soon. And so in the meantime, Chef Chu, if you can deal with this next question, that would be great. And
Awesome.
the question is a little bit more, dense. It's a little bit heavier. And so the text that we're referencing is going to be Leviticus chapter 5, verse 7 and verse 11. And so if you want to go to your Bibles, for those who are watching, if you have your hard copy Bible, if you want to, just open up another tab as you watch this, to pull up that scripture, it is found in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 7 and 11. And so in light of Leviticus, so I'll read it. Oh, would you like to read? I heard you flipping the page.
Yeah, I got it.
So
If you want me to read it, I don't mind. If you want me to read
yeah,
it,
that would
absolutely.
be great. Just those
Okay.
two verses,
Okay.
7 and 11.
11. Okay. So verse 7 says, this is a New King James Version, says, if he is not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring to the Lord for his trespass which he has committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering. Verse 11, but if he is not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he who sinned shall bring for his offering 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a sin offering. He shall put no oil on it, nor shall he put frankincense on it, for it is a sin offering.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And so there's so much there, right? There's so
Yeah.
much there. But kind of what we want to focus on is in light of Leviticus 5, 7, and 11, why is it important for people on a strict budget to celebrate the birth of Jesus and his sacrifice through food and fellowship? Why is it important, and how has this scripture made provision for that to still happen?
Yeah, it's a very deep question because if you look at this text, this is a trespass offering.
Yeah.
Dealing with one who actually has committed a sin. And obviously, the typical process would be a lamb would be slain, and that whole excruciating process of slitting the throat, the blood would then come out and go into a bowl or whatever, and so forth. And so, symbolizing obviously Christ being the Lamb of God.
Yeah.
And what I see in this is that I think of a scripture that says, as Isaiah 55 says, "Ho, everyone that thirsteth, and he that hath no money, come ye buy and eat."
Yeah.
And so, Christ is kind of saying to all of us that, hey, all of us, the gift of salvation is for everybody.
Yeah.
And he says, "He that hath no money, come ye buy and eat." And so I think about this as like, yes, the lamb symbolized Christ, but again, Christ doesn't want us to be looked at because of our financial status. He wants everybody to still experience the blessing of his sacrifice. And so he's
Yeah.
like, listen, the lamb, yes, represents me, but all of these are nothing but types. They're still not the antitype, if you want to call Christ being the antitype. So the flower, even though it wasn't a lamb, even though a life technically was not taken, Christ is saying that the action of you following this step is still going to give emphasis to the ultimate sacrifice, which is going to become myself. And I think about that in light of, we think about this Christmas season and this holiday season, is that, number one, again, whether it's a butter cookie or the most exquisite $3,000 cookie that was made, at the end of the day, it's sweet, it's delicious, it's good. And that same cookie, whether it's a butter cookie or again, or some $300-400 cookie, is still going to allow that family to come together, to worship together, to most importantly give glory where it's due, which is to Christ. So I would say I think what Christ is getting at is that in these holiday times, yes, we go all out a lot of times. with all the different fixings. You know, you got to, you know, Thanksgiving, you know, won't be Thanksgiving without this. You know, if you don't got the cranberry sauce, you ain't having Thanksgiving. That's how I was at Thanksgiving a few weeks ago in my family. And like, you ain't got the cranberry sauce, what's Thanksgiving? But what I'm understanding based on this text is that what is the purpose behind it? And the fellowship of the food is a part of the experience. And again, I think it's not the whole, but it's a part. And I think so having that as that experience and being able to actually go through the process of preparing something, I think is the ultimate aim. So, you know, the lamb has to be prepared. You know, the flour has to be prepared. There's specific instructions on like, listen, you know, there's no oil to go on this. There's no frankincense. There's representation there with the frankincense and the oil. So I think that again, you know, the food that we have has symbols and it means things to us. And I think when it comes to the intimate part of breaking bread with family, having those intimate conversations, those are the things that count the most. Yeah, around the table together. And last thing I say is like, what made me become a chef, one of the biggest things is I found that food is very intimate. So intimate that it literally becomes our culture, if that makes sense, to a point where it becomes our identity. And so when you think about it in light of this, the holidays that we celebrate, a lot of it is, you know, we capture the bigger moments, you know, that family gathering. I look more, you know, this is much I look for the food, I look also for the family gathering. And so you can still experience it for the fanfare or not having no money and still be able to still experience a beautiful holiday. And I think there's provision for that here based on the scriptures.
Awesome. And, you know, I really like that because this is a time where many times, because of traditions, different places have different Christmas traditions or Thanksgiving traditions, as you have pointed to. And individuals might believe, if I can't put a turkey on the table, for Caribbean, if I can't have some nice guava duff and so forth, hey, this is no Christmas. But the text is really, as you're saying, true, is that whatever you have, remember the ultimate sacrifice that you're coming to with that. And you just praise him in the moment, enjoy it in the moment, because God knows our budget. He's not asking us to change our budget or change the amount of money that we have when it comes around to this time. He's saying, what you have, I can accept it. So that's a powerful point there. Steffi, I see you, we lost you a little bit. You could just maybe share with us first your favorite food moment, and then maybe, you know, share a little bit on this discussion, budgeting from scripture.
Okay, so my favorite food moment would have to be the moment that I was actually hired to cook for someone, and she was actually ailing at the time. And so, you know, for me, that was like a form of ministry that I was able to not only bond with her, but I was able to use food, you know, to uplift her spirits, you know, and just being with the lady and cooking for her every morning. And, you know, it's like something that she so much looked forward to the point where, you know, there were days when I wasn't able to come that she was like, well, where is Steph? You know, and she told her children, like, you know, no, I want her here because she needs to make my food, you know. And I felt so like honored, you know, like this is just regular stuff that I'm making. But that just tells you the power of food, you know, how it can connect people together. And it can also uplift the soul of a person, you know. So food has that power. And that is my favorite foodie moment, to know that, you know, food has the power to bring people together and also to change the mood of a whole atmosphere, you know, in a place.
Yes. And, you know, as you say that, what came to my mind is when Jesus said, I was hungry and you didn't feed me, right? There's so many persons who are hungry, and we need to feed. We need to feed those persons. So in this case, this lady, she was sick. So her hunger, it was twofold, that physical pain that she's dealing with. And of course, you stepping in and using food as a way to lift her spirit. That's really awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, for sure. And so, Chef Steph, if you can also answer the question, we went ahead and read Leviticus chapter 5, verse 7 and 11. And if you can respond to that, I'll ask the question again. here really quickly. And it is in light of Leviticus chapter 5, 7, and 11. Why is it important for people on a strict budget to still be able to celebrate the birth of Jesus, the sacrifice of Jesus through food and fellowship? Why is that important? And how has God made provisions for people to do that even when they're on a strict budget?
Well, I think it's important for persons to celebrate and remember the birth of Jesus Christ, because Christ was the ultimate sacrifice for us. And when we think about persons living on a budget, Mary, his mother, when she went to the temple to make that sacrifice, she didn't have, all the expensive calves or all of those things that most of the persons who had, the, I guess, more wealthier persons had to be able to offer those type of sacrifice. She
Yeah.
had to come with her pigeons, into the temple. So persons who may be, less fortunate, probably because of circumstances, no fault of their own, they don't need to feel any type of way because of the fact that they're not able to do what they want to do in this present season. When we sit down at our tables this holiday season, and even if we just have a simple meal, we need to have our focus on Jesus Christ, knowing that he is the one
Yeah.
who provided for us, whether it's a big meal or a small meal. The fact of the matter is that we actually have a meal, and so we also need to think about the fact that even if we don't have that big of a meal, fasting brings us closer to Christ. So even if we don't have that big of a meal, we need to
Make
Amen.
use of
sometimes
it.
Amen.
deprive ourselves,
Yeah.
of what it is that we are used to, so that we
Yeah.
can get closer to God. And when
Yeah.
we have less, we're able
I
to
like that.
realize,
Hmm.
and reflect back on who it was who blessed us with
Yeah.
abundance, when we
Yeah.
did have it.
Yeah.
So whether we have little or more, we need to learn, like Paul says in the Bible, whatever state that he is in, he has learned to be content. So we must always, in everything we do, especially in this season, since we're talking about, the sacrifice that Jesus made, we should always be in us, the mind frame to reflect on what Jesus has done for us years ago when he came. He didn't have, he didn't live a lavish lifestyle, and I'm sure when they had their celebrations, in the part of the world where he lived, it more than likely was a simple meal. So if you are
Yeah.
sitting at your holiday table with a simple meal, just remember that Jesus
Yeah.
lived a simple life as well.
Amen.
That's
So that
Amen.
is my
powerful.
Amen.
encouragement to those
That's
persons.
powerful. And I take that. I take that because virtually you're saying Jesus can turn your water into wine. So
Yes, yes.
take your water to him.
Mhm.
He can work with that in the holiday season. He doesn't want you to be around the table, and at the same time you're around the table, you're wondering, man, what am I going to do because I overspent to have this meal? But we're really running out of time, and I
We
want us
are.
to really zoom into this to actually, infuse some hope in this context of food and the holiday delicious delight. So, what message of hope would you like to give to those who are concerned about their health? As you know, Steffi, you related your experience there, or just concerned about providing for their families during this season. I know you have intimated, both of you, as you were talking, you intimated some things that can be taken from this. But what context could you bring to this question? We could go with Steffi first, and then we end with Chu.
Okay, in terms of the message of hope, I
Mhm.
just want people to know that, at the end of the day, like the Bible says, man should not live by bread alone. And
Mhm.
Jesus is our bread of life. So, this holiday season, and not just for the holidays, but just
Yeah.
all year round, we need to be desiring after Jesus, because he is the true bread, he is the true meat, he is the one who we need in our life. So you are looking for food, you are looking for meat, you need to hunger and thirst after righteousness. Okay, that is what you need to do. And in terms of, bringing that in from a health perspective,
Yeah.
we have to be balanced. in
Yeah.
everything that we do. We don't need to be, leaning extreme over on any side, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever you are, you need to have balance in your life because, too much sugar. I think the Bible even talks about too much honey or something like that. But we know that too much sugar isn't good. So I'm not going to encourage someone to sit down at, a table and just eat. I have all these spread of cookies. I'm not going to sit down and eat this whole spread of
Mhm.
cookies because that's not good for anybody. That will have damaging effects on the body. But at the same time, I do believe that, a little sugar, isn't bad all the time. So we need to be balanced. We need to have balance in our lives, and we need to know that, God is balanced. He wants us to be balanced in our lives. So we should, in everything that we do, we need to follow his example. Whether we eat or we drink, in everything we do, we must bring glory to God.
Amen. 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 Chef Chu, message of hope for the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking today about the story of the five loaves and two fishes. And
Mhm.
what was so interesting in that story is that here you have these individuals that Jesus was actually in a deserted place, the Bible says. So he was literally in a deserted place, a place that didn't have any nice grocery stores nearby and didn't have a restaurant nearby. And while they were there, the Bible says they got hungry. And the disciples said, send them away so they can go to the city, go to the village and get some food. But what was so interesting is that here in a desert place with little resources, with a
Yeah.
little boy that had five loaves and two fishes, God says, you know something, Chef Steffi, my man Jesus, he literally started a restaurant in the wilderness. He
Yes.
said,
All
look,
right.
I'm about to start a fish fry. I got me some fish shack, little fish sandwiches. I got
Yes.
some bread and some fish. We
Preach.
about to have a feast out here in the wilderness. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
desert of
A
circumstances.
flexitarian. A
Come on, that's a
flexitarian
flexitarian.
restaurant.
Come on, man. There you go. Hey, so I like to say, man, in the desert, God can make it a garden of Eden and a
Amen.
garden of eating. Meaning that He took literally the little that little boy had, and the disciples. What's so interesting in that story is that the disciples wanted to send them away. And a
Mhm.
lot of times, as disciples, as ourselves, as ministers, as missionaries, and as I call myself a missionary chef. When we go out and feed people, Miss Steffi, a lot of times, it's we don't recognize the blessings that we're bringing to
Yes.
people.
Yes.
But sometimes, due to our lack of faith, we don't always know how, we don't see the resources that God is the one that has all things. And sometimes our five loaves and two fishes, we get caught in the little that we have, but not recognizing that we serve the God that can multiply the multitudes, multiply the loaves and the fishes. So I want to say that,
Yes. Yes.
in this season of literally in a pandemic, I'm
Yeah.
sure the Bahamas has been affected due to the travel industry.
Yeah.
The restaurant industry, here where I'm at has been severely hurt and so forth. A lot of businesses that I know have went out of business. A lot of people have lost jobs. Immigrant communities, Black and brown communities are suffering really bad. Even in the worst of times, what I've learned from our communities is that we have found how we've learned how to persevere in the worst of circumstances, and I believe that's been our faith in God that's brought us through. Learning how to take the little, little is much when God is in it. So my message of hope is that remember Christ, that He can take the little that we have and make it into a garden of Eden. Even in a desert circumstance, the Bible says it can be like a garden of Eden. And I just want to encourage everybody with that today.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen. Good
Wow.
stuff.
Wow.
Good stuff. I love it. I love it. A message of
Yeah.
hope that I heard kind of mentioned earlier that I just want to re-emphasize if you're just now tuning in is that during this holiday season, if you cannot do everything that you're used to doing, if you cannot provide everything that you're used to providing for your family, if there was a thing that you were like, man, there is no Christmas or there is no celebration of the birth of Jesus if we don't have this particular thing, please know that you can still celebrate the birth of Jesus. You can still
Yep.
celebrate his sacrifice, his incarnational ministry, his presence, his love for you, even if you don't have that particular food item. And the fact that you have people who love you, people who care for you, and Jesus being the chief person on that list, and is fellowship is good enough, right?
Yeah.
It's more than enough. It's good
True.
enough. if you can't have people physically around you because you don't want to get sick, or your family members may be sick and you can't have that physical presence that you desire, please know that there is still a blessing of social media, of picking up the phone, of video chat. And so find ways to still be a blessing to one another during these times, and find ways that you can even include food into this fellowship of love and community. Pastor Larry?
Yeah. As everyone was talking, my mind was just gone. Yeah, of course, in the kitchens, but that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. You know, the power that I've seen here, as I look at the simple but yet delicious, drooling dessert and dish that you guys were able to put together, is how God provides. He's still the provider. Um, what he did in the wilderness, in opening heaven and raining down manna, you have seen that here today. That in with a budget of $10, your kids can still be happy getting some cookies with little macaronis and what do you call the cheese now? Mozzarella cheese, vegan style. You can still be healthy, and that's the essence of what Zoom Up is about. And I am just feeling privileged. In fact, we're feeling privileged, as the Zoom Up team, to be able to have you, Steffi, and um, Chef Chu on this side. Steffi would tune in every week on the other side, but just you coming in and showing us, how this can happen, and through all the way from California, just to show the world, because people watch us from all over, that guess what? In this season where COVID-19 has wreaked havoc in lives, you can actually experience your sacrifice at your whatever table. Maybe if you don't have table, in whatever you sit on, if you
In
don't
your
sit
lap,
on whatever you
right in
sit,
your own little lap. You have a lap. Yes.
and God can put some food in your empty plate. If I was really thinking the nice outro would be, guess what? I'll get some food inside of my plate. But my wife is gonna give me that shortly. She said, "Do you want to eat now?" I said, "No. After now, I can't wait to eat."
Amen.
But friends, I want you to be blessed with the little that you have,
Amen.
and it starts with your mindset, thanking God, even
Right.
in COVID-19. So that's just my little share here. So
And
thanks
just
to
really quick.
everyone. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sorry.
Go
And
ahead.
just really quick, if you've been blessed by this program, if you've been blessed by other programs, to provide us with the space to produce more and to be able to reach more people,
Mhm.
please subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Even if you're watching on Facebook right now, subscribe to our YouTube page, so that we can be able to produce more of these types of conversations for you. Also, I just want to ask for those who are willing, those who are able, right? Those who are able. I know with many of us, we are in financial constraint and we're trying to pinch together our pennies to make things happen for our family. But if you can provide $1, $2 on Cash App or PayPal, that will be a blessing as well. So we can expand our team, so that we can put together scholarships, so that we can bless children who are having a hard time finding backpacks and utensils and just different things,
Yeah.
laptops,
Yeah.
iPads that are necessary for school nowadays. And so if you're willing and able, we're definitely not asking you to take money out of your rent, okay? We're not asking you to take food off of your family's tables, but if you can give a couple of dollars so that we can put together a scholarship to bless people that have less than what you have, then that will
Yeah.
also be a blessing. I hope that you all have a blessed rest of your day.
Yes. All right.
Pastor Larry.
By the way, remember our March conference in February 6th, 2021. Mark that date. But also next week, we're going to have a wonderful time. You can't afford to miss, because we're going to have Carol at Christmas right here. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So we're going to have a great time as we reflect on the person behind the season, Jesus. We're going to have a great time on Zoom up, some nice singing, as well as some deep reflections. So we're looking forward to see you. So it's been a great experience. If you're hungry, you have these information. Go over the video, find these information. Go on Facebook, find these information, or YouTube, and just touch with these persons. I know that Steffi would love to do some cookies for you. So find her on Facebook, and she will set you right. And I know that Chef Chu can get that food to you. All right. So just find him at his website, call him up, and of course, he will make you a vegan delight. Of course, it is something better. So on behalf of the entire team, I am your host, Larry Green, and
I am your co-host, D. London Anderson. Blessing.
And Kevin Spence in the background, our producer and engineer. Thanks everyone for joining us. Subscribe. See you next week.